Happy holidays. I hope everyone had a marvelous Thanksgiving. Uh, my name is Ella Sean. For those of you who don't know me, I'm also known as the ADHD Cutie all over social media. I am so happy and excited to present and collaborate with a new friend of mine, Miss Dina Farmer, who is a certified autism travel expert. Let me say that again. She's a certified autism travel expert. Okay. For those of you who know me on my new channel, Practice to Prevent, it's all about getting neurodivergent families or sensory sensitive families ready for travel, as well as everyday outings like the grocery store, movie theaters, restaurants, and so forth. Now, I know a lot of you may be saying, she must be out of mind. There's no way I'm taking my kid out like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know what noise could trigger a meltdown. No way, no way, no way. We are here to fill in those gaps, to close up those what ifs. My services will give you the practice sessions you need to go through these everyday scenarios, as well as practice sessions for travel, whether that be in the car, by airplane, cruise ship, train, bus, what have you. Dina takes it a step further to actual travel. She gives you tools to prepare you for the documents that you need and for navigating the airport, the plane, cruise ships, what have you. She will help you book that trip. She'll help you find a sensory friendly trip like Legoland. Yeah. So, so without further ado, I'm going to jump right into um, first. Let me introduce you to Dina. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and then we're going to dig into some questions that I have for her. Take it away, Miss Dina.
Thank you so much, LaShawn. I'm super excited to be here too. It's like I'm really glad that we found each other recently. I'm very excited about what we are going to have in the future. But I'm Dina Farmer, and I'm a certified autism travel expert slash professional. And I help families with autistic children travel the world. I stumbled on this journey of becoming a travel advisor to help almost exclusively families with autism and other disabilities when my oldest son was diagnosed with autism. And we're a military family, so we didn't have a choice about traveling the world. It was like, you have to figure it out. I said, we're going to stop traveling outside of what the military requires of us. But when my oldest son asked me to go on a trip to Washington, D.C. and NYC to see the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God. The Empire State Building. I was like, oh, you know what? Like, if he wants to do these things and like travel is one of his special interests, like, why would I be limiting him just because he is autistic? So I decided to start planning that trip. We haven't done it yet, but we've done other things on his list, like going to Mexico and like we've seen Chichen Itza, which he's really wanted to go and see. And I noticed that like through the course of like looking for resources for my own family to be able to travel, there wasn't really anything. And I'm talking back in like 2020, 2021, 2022. There's even to those years, there's still not a lot out there to help families with autistic kids travel. So I said, well, if nobody else is doing it, I'm gonna do it. And that's how I started Spectrum Getaways. So yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I started my services and stuff because I couldn't find anything. My son is
Yeah.
he's ADHD, but he's a young adult, so he doesn't really travel a lot with me. But back when he was younger, I had to figure it out, like you said. So I started locally, doing a lot of local hotels and resorts. And then once we discovered cruising, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. That's like the easiest, to me, that is the absolute easiest way to travel with any type of high needs or special needs child. Yeah.
I would completely agree.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. So get your question. Okay, Ms. Dina. How do you tailor travel plans to match the sensory needs and comfort levels of each child you work with?
Well, that's a good question. So, with I try to have a kind of mini interview with every client that I work with because I can't accommodate anybody if I don't know what their sensory needs are. So I like to find out, I don't need like a full diagnosis, I don't need levels or anything like that, but just to be able to say, my child doesn't like crowded spaces, or it's really difficult for them to wait in line, or if we're in a hotel and they really can't stand noise, like can I make a request to get a quieter part of a hotel or like away from an elevator, away from ice makers, all that kind of thing. Like those are really the big things that I need to know. So when I have that interview, I just like to call it that because that's really what it is. Um, that's how I gather all the information so that when I'm planning a trip for them, I can like look on a cruise ship, for example, and I know we can pick our staterooms on a cruise ship, and I can know, okay, absolutely not near elevators, and we'll try to keep it midship, especially if someone has seasickness like me, you know, or if you're in an all-inclusive resort, some of them are really easy and accommodating too, that they'll let you pick your rooms in all-inclusive. Not all the time, but some of them will allow you to do that. Or calling hotels and being like, hey, really want to make requests. Like I can't guarantee, unfortunately, at hotels that it's always going to work, but I can put it in there to request, like please don't put us near, whatever. So the interview process is a really big part of how I can do that for families. So if you don't tell
I
me, I
agree.
don't know, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, how do you help families choose destinations, resorts, or cruise lines that are truly autism friendly and vetted for accessibility?
Right. So I do, as a part of my certification, I have to continue to keep my education up. And thankfully, the organization that I work with, the IBCCS, which stands for the International Board of Continuing Education and Standards. I think there's another C in there somewhere. They require me to do at least four continuing education credits a year to keep my certification. And they put out a lot of information, which again is like, I'm so glad for them to bring stuff out like that so that I can turn to this information and provide it to my clients, and knowing that there's cruise lines out there such as Royal Caribbean that's certified through the IBCCS, and they also work with another organization called Autism on the Seas. Not all the time, but that's their current partnership with them. Or finding out places like Charisma Resorts are very autism friendly, and they're certified through Autism Double Checked, I believe. And I find these organizations that do the vetting process for me, and also certify these locations and say, these are the things that I know of for sure that are autism friendly. And then if they're not, then it's just making accommodations or trying to make a plan for them so that it makes it easier for them to visit those destinations. But generally speaking, like you said, cruise lines and also all inclusives, some theme parks are are pretty safe bets for for travel.
Okay. What steps do you recommend families to take once they feel confident with local outings and they're actually ready to start planning their first trip?
I think in general, like your first trip shouldn't be something that's out of this world crazy, like going to three countries in one trip. Especially if your kid doesn't really enjoy flying, or maybe like the train is and like too many modes of transportation too. Like don't fly, do the train, have a rental car, like all that kind of stuff. That's just a lot. Just pick like one destination, and it could be domestic if that makes it easier for you. Like I know with my youngest son, we have struggles with flying. So I try to pick destinations that I know he can handle the duration of that flight, and hopefully with no delays, we can make it there. So I try to do something like 3 hours maximum flight, which for me, I live in Florida, so that's probably going to be the furthest we can go is like, up north to, I don't know, DC or something like that. So I try to keep it short and then not too many different modes of transportation. But if it's still even too hard to even do flights, then I just say, why not stay, like, to go for a road trip or something like that? Because we do road trips a lot. So I'll drive down to Orlando and we'll do stuff like that. So I just try to keep it one mode of travel if possible, and don't move around too much because it can be a lot, especially for
Yeah.
that first trip.
What accommodations or supports do you typically request from airlines, hotels, and attractions for autistic travelers?
So especially for theme parks, I do request it's not a skip the line, but it is a disability pass. So like Universal, Disney, Legoland, I mean, all of them have it. Like they all have some kind of disability pass and they all have different names. And like I said, it's not skipping the line. You're still in line, but you're not physically in line. It's a virtual queue. And that pass helps manage lines so that if your child like mine cannot wait for a long period of time, like I think we've got like 20 minutes max and then they're done. So that pass gives us a return time that we can actually get on the attraction. So yes, we are waiting in line, but we're doing something else. So it makes it a lot easier for that.
I
Um,
can hold your spot.
exactly. It's like, you know, when you're waiting in line to buy some merchandise or something like that on the internet, you're just waiting for that that spot to open up. Um, hotels is a similar thing. It's just when I learn, you know, what they need, then I can forward that information to a hotel. And then a lot of organizations, like I said, Charisma has an autism concierge program that you can email them and tell, like, make a request of accommodations of, hey, this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. And then the hotels can tell you, like, oh, we can make this accommodation or we cannot, but here's what we can do. And it's just, yeah, I think, what did we say? And then you said airlines too. Airlines a little bit trickier because you know, there's lots of different passengers on the airline, but some airlines do have special, they call it special needs programs. Like I know for sure that Southwest and United and American and Delta all have some kind of program that you can email them or call them and ask for accommodations. And usually they're very, very accommodating. There's sometimes that, you know, maybe the information didn't trickle down like it's supposed to. But generally speaking, like they'll allow you to board before everybody else, like to include first class. So if you have someone who has a disability, or you know is under the age of 6, you're able to board first. So you can get settled and like calm down. But I always tell my clients like wait to the very last minute because then you're not sitting on that plane forever. Unless you have a carry-on bag, then maybe you can kind of make a decision about that way. But I always say wait last, so that way your child's not sitting on the airplane like this is taking forever and we're not leaving. That's what I always
Right,
suggest.
right. And then finally, what piece of advice would you give that family that's just so anxious and so stressed about the thought of travel, but they really want to travel to go see grandma, to have that first time trip to Disney World or a family cruise, all these lifetime memories that they're constantly missing out on
Hmm.
and their children are missing out on. What advice would you give them to kind of give them that nudge to say, it's okay to do it. I'm here for you. I will hold your hand and guide you through this process of booking this trip.
Right. So I always try to remind people that we sadly only have 18 summers. Most of us only have 18 summers with our children. I know my boys are at a level where they will be able to live on their own. So I try to remind myself that, oh my gosh, they're only going to have these 18 years. And as you know, and the rest of us know that 18 years flies by in a heartbeat. It's like,
Yep.
I'm like, what happened? But, when I was, you know, when I started with my oldest son, of course, the military notwithstanding, right? I decided we're just going to start really, really small. And that means like we were so lucky to be living in Hawaii when we started our journey with the diagnosis that it was like, oh, we could go to the beach, for example, and just like check that out, see how he handles it. And we can go to the aquarium. We can go stay at a local hotel in the area because there's so many in Hawaii that you can go to, you know, on the island of Oahu. And we just started with very small baby steps and then kept building. So in Hawaii, we actually built to a trip to Japan, which is a 10-hour flight from from Hawaii, but like it you know, he was able to do that, but I kept strict to my rules of like, okay, we have this flight and the only other mode of transportation we're going to do is traveling by train because everybody, you know, and their grandma travels by train in Japan because it's very expensive using taxis and the train is cheaper. So I kept it very cheap, short like that, so that he was able to adjust to more frequent trips and longer trips. So start small. And then if you're really, really not ready, then work with someone like you to start with very teeny, tiny baby steps, right? Of like going to the grocery store or going to the doctor's office or going to the playground even, and like having that reward system of like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun because we actually got out of the house. This is my reward for leaving the house. So baby steps. I always say start small. Small, small, small,
Right.
and then build up to bigger and longer trips. And it
Yeah. And
segues right into you as well. So,
for those families who can't even get to that step yet, that's where my services come in.
right.
I give them the practice, the platform to practice these different outings and scenarios in the comfort of their home where their child is most comfortable. There are strategies and ways to set up your living room to make it look like an airport, to set up your bedroom to make it look like a hotel. Those different kinds of things you can run through those scenarios at home until your child feels comfortable. And then, like you said, take the baby steps, go to a local hotel not far from home and just stay one night, see how that works. Then try it again and do a whole weekend and see how that works. We have strategies to help them actually go to the grocery store, things that they can do to help that child feel comfortable in that environment. For most of them, it's just the unknown. It's just so many different sensories
Yeah.
going off at all at one time. Too much visual, too much auditory, too much everything. How do you minimize them or yeah, minimize
Yeah.
most of that as possible?
Hmm.
And that is to distract their minds. First, you have to calm their brains. That's the major thing, is to calm their brains, which calms their nervous system, which directly, you know, shows up in their behavior.
Right.
How do you change their mind? You have to change the way they think of this unknown environment, this unknown activity. It's not a scary thing. It's just a part of life. It's an everyday thing. We can do this. When you feel scared, you do this. When you feel nervous, do this. If you're feeling anxious or you wanted to scream, do this instead. Those things have to be put in place before you go to the grocery store, before you plan that trip, before you get to the airport or anywhere else. Do these things, practice at home. It's like any other skill. In order to get better at it, you have to practice
Yep.
and practice and practice and practice over and over and over again until they get better at the skill.
Yes.
That's the mindset. That is the mindset that the parents are going to have to develop. This is just a skill. He can do this or she can do this. We just need to practice and practice and practice at home to get them better at it, to get them more comfortable, more familiar. Visual aids like YouTube videos are exceptionally helpful in that because they can literally see and hear what's going on at the airport. Show them videos of checking in your baggage so they can see I'm going to have to give up my suitcase. Somebody's going to have to touch my suitcase. I have to put this tag on my suitcase. And then someone's going to take my suitcase away, but I know I'm going to get it back when I get off the plane. Those are very specific steps that the child will have to go through. And you can practice those things at home. And it's the same thing with TSA, same thing with boarding or waiting to board and then boarding,
Yep.
same thing with maybe having to go to the bathroom while you're at the airport. All those things we practice. I have what's called a school, SKOOL, set up. That's the community I use instead of Facebook because Facebook can be a little
Yeah.
Facebook can be a little new, so I use school. There's a lot of free resources that are in there now, and that I'm going to keep putting in there. It's free to join the school, so the parents can go in there, get the free resources. We'll set up monthly or weekly sessions where we can do some practice things. If they need more hand holding, then they can reach out to me directly, and we can set up a one-on-one, or they can go through these things with their child if they want to or not. It's whatever they feel comfortable with, but practicing to get them familiar. in order to prevent these meltdowns, to prevent that anxiety for both the child and the parent,
Yeah.
is what my services are all about. I get them ready to come to you.
Yep, exactly. And practice, practice, practice. I think that's the
Practice,
most important
practice,
part.
practice.
Yep.
Yes, yes. Did you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do. I think you actually answered my first one which was how do you build families' confidence to begin planning a trip, but I think you completely answered that one. So I'll go to my second question, which is how do you oops, sorry. What strategies do you teach parents for navigating sensory heavy environments like the grocery store or movie theaters?
Okay. That's what I was speaking about in my school. They would join the school for free,
Mhm.
and then they would set up a one-on-one session with me, and we would go through specific scenarios based on their child's needs. Not every child needs that heavy,
And yeah, detailed training
that very, very detailed. Not every
yeah,
child needs that. So it's going to be tailored to what their child needs at the level wherever their child is. So say going to the grocery store, like you said, I have digital products that I've created for that. One of them are personalized stories about the child going to the grocery store with their mom. It's more of a social story, but their child is in the story. Their name is in it. Their face is on the cover. So they are literally seeing themselves
in the
going step by
story.
step
Yeah.
in the grocery store. I've set up different music clips about going to the grocery store. A lot of them relate to music, so they can have music on their tablets or their iPads or whatever it is that they carry, cell phones, what have you. They can have the music about going to the grocery store. And then again, there's also YouTube where they can see and hear a social story about going to the grocery store so they can see for themselves it's not so scary. And then there's a lot of people who may not know there are stores now who are doing sensory friendly hours, like Walmart
Yep.
has sensory friendly hours every day for certain times of the day where they turn off all the TVs, they lower the music or turn the music off, they lower the lights and what have you. Now, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on it. It's not perfect, but it's something. They're
It's
starting
better than
something. They're
nothing. Yeah.
trying.
Yep.
Right. They're trying something. And a lot of people go to Walmart. Lots and lots of families go to Walmart. So that's some place that they can start and actually practice going during these hours because you can get your groceries and your goodies.
Yeah.
It's Walmart nowadays is a
Yeah.
one-stop shop, so you don't have to go to two and three different stores. You can pretty much get anything you need right there at Walmart. Mama can even get a little libation if she needs it. Get
Yeah.
a little drink. Okay? If she needs it, she probably does.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, so it's
Exactly.
yeah, it's all about practice, practice tools, practice strategies, but it all comes down to practice, which we do in my school.
So, when a family is just starting out and they're feeling really overwhelmed with the idea of doing any of that stuff, like going out in general, what is the first step that you recommend that they take?
First step, which what I was saying before, is they have to change their way of thinking,
Yeah.
which first requires them to calm their brains. They have to calm their brains and their nervous system. Once the child sees mom is calm, the child will eventually calm down. Now, there are other strategies that you may need to incorporate to really calm the child.
Yeah, but regulation
A lot of
sounds like
times the child, yeah, a lot of times the child is feeding off the parent's energy. Parents is nervous as ages. Parents is nervous and anxious. The child picks up on it.
yep.
And it makes them feel, oh no, something's wrong here. So, okay, something's, yeah. Mom and dad have to calm down first, whether that's putting on some music, going outside in nature, something as standing in a cold shower can really help. Whatever that takes for you to calm down and then come back and deal with the child, then you can help the child to calm down with the different strategies and free resources that I offer in the school. but it's all about calming the brain and the nervous system first.
100%. Because you have to be calm. You have to be calm. I always try to I know keep a smile on my face in general. It's like not because I'm trying to have an outwardly friendly appearance, but it's really so like I can continue to regulate myself and in turn regulate my children by just looking nonchalant, I guess.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I can handle
And it's
whatever's coming forth.
and it's not always easy. I don't want
Yeah.
parents to think that this is just, oh, easy breezy. Yeah, I'm gonna go be calm. I know it's not easy,
Yeah.
especially when your child is upset or not listening, and you've had a long day, working all day, or dealing with the child all day. You get frustrated, you lose
Mhm.
patience. I
Yep.
get it, I get it, I understand. But you still have to figure out some way to calm yourself down.
100%. 100 because that's the most important part. They feed off of us too, right? So
Yep, yep.
that's so true. But speaking about that, and regulating, right? When you're working with a family, how do you assess the child's sensory profile or like their needs, when you begin working with a family or when they join school? Like what do you provide to tailor to those families?
It's like you said, I have to give the parents a questionnaire. I give them a questionnaire because the information is going to come from the parent. You know the child better than anybody.
Right.
I need you to tell me what I'm dealing with. I need you to tell me about their personality. I need you to tell me just how sensitive they are, how specific and detailed I need to be, and whatever strategies we put together for them. You, the mom or the dad or whoever, has to be a part of that process. So majority of the information that I need is going to come from you. And then we tailor around the information that I get from you.
That easy peasy. It makes it super
Okay?
easy for me. So now my very last question for you is, how does your upcoming course guide parents from everyday outings to feeling ready for bigger adventures like traveling? I know you touched in that a bit too, but just in case you didn't know, she does have a course coming out really, really soon. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it's coming soon. My ADHD has keeps distracted me
I
and
understand.
delaying. But yeah, I have the outline ready. Just gotta put the course together. And I actually call it a mini course because I know a lot of people like me can't just go through this 4 week course and it's
Yeah.
2 hours every day or 1 hour no, 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 no. Even if it's really vital information for me, that's it's just too much. So I can only imagine an autistic child or a highly sensitive child. I can only imagine that's too much, and the parents won't have time because they got to deal with the child.
Right.
So these are going to be like quick mini videos that I would send email, or they can go through the school and I can put the whole set of videos in the school. I could do it that way also. And they can go through it at their own pace. They'll have unlimited access, go through and pick and choose which ones they want. They may not need them all. So they can pick and choose whichever ones they want to and just go over that over and over and over. And I like to put it in video format for that reason. They can go back over it, rewind to a certain spot. Now, what did she say to do about? And they can go back and hear what I'm saying, see what they can do to imitate, to set up their home, and what have you. Um, we will actually do some live sessions where they're going to show me. We're going to do it live. Set up your living room to look like an airport. Let's see what you do. And I'll be there to guide and give suggestions or whatever. If they want to do it one-on-one, it'll just be me. They can also invite their own family members to join the call if they want to do that. If they want support from the school community, we can do that as well. It's whatever is comfortable for the parent and the child. If they decide to have the child there, I think it would be beneficial because again, we're walking through these different situations. And then, like you mentioned, different organizations like Autism on the Seas has um, practice going on cruise ships where the
Yeah.
ship stays docked at the port. It does not move. It doesn't go out into the water at all, but the child and the family get to go on the cruise ship, take a tour of the cruise ship. You get to see one of these suites or cabins. You have lunch, I believe. Staff or the captain or both come and talk to you,
Yep.
and then you get off the ship. Same thing with Autism Double Checked. They have programs called practice flights
Yep.
where they go to different airports and have these practice sessions at the airport. And I mean, you go through every step of the process, checking in your bag, going through TSA, going over to your gate, finding your gate, sitting and waiting at the
At your
gate.
gate. Yeah.
Time to board, you got to wait in line. There's a lot of waiting at the airport. You got to wait in line for your turn to get on. They've got to learn how to wait their turn. The practice sessions help them do that. But my practice course will prepare them for these practice sessions. So the real practice sessions will be incorporated in my mini courses. So I'm going to help you set up your appointment to go to the LAX airport or the
Or yeah.
Seattle, Washington airport
Right.
or wherever, whatever's closest to you, you can go to that one. If that one's done, because I believe they only do them once a year, if that one's done for the year, you can go to another airport. You don't have to go to your city airport. You can go wherever. And the best part about it is if they don't make it through the first one, they can go again and again and again.
Yep.
It's giving them real life practice experience. You do not want to take them through something like that when you've
Without
planned
it.
the trip.
Yeah.
And the day of travel is the practice event. No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, 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 no.
Yeah. Can be very tricky.
Going, yes, and going through my practice course will help save thousands of dollars. I have heard nightmares of families who have had to literally cancel their whole trip because they couldn't get the child on that plane.
Right. Yeah. I've heard that
They've
too.
had to reschedule their cruises because they couldn't get the child on the plane.
Yep.
Sometimes the cruise ports aren't close enough to drive to. You have to fly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They had to cancel the whole trip because they could not get that one child on the plane. And unfortunately, it taints the trip for the whole family. But that child can't help it. But the family can't help how they feel either. It's not,
Yeah.
it's unfair in a way, but again, the child can't help it. So it's like the family suffers, but it's like it's a circle. It's a cycle. It's but it is unavoidable
Mm-hmm.
just by merely helping them to practice those different scenarios. Start with the grocery store, in the movies, in the restaurant. You can practice the restaurant at home. Set up your living room table.
Yep.
Have other family members there. Have people there maybe from work that the child doesn't know. Have somebody in the kitchen making noise with pots and pans. Have somebody drop something accidentally. Any kind of noise that may trigger that child, you want to practice that scenario because that is the unknown that they're afraid of.
Right. And it's very important because you can't prevent those things from happening in everyday life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. With those practice flights that I was talking about, some of the planes even you literally get on the plane and you buckle up, find your seat, buckle up, put your stuff in the overhead bin. You pack a bag, put it
Yep.
in the overhead bin, really like you're going on a flight. Um,
And they
they
might
come on, make
taxi.
their announcements. They come on, make their announcements, and they offer a snack or something. Some of them will taxi, some of them don't.
Right.
I believe the one at LAX does taxi, but it gives them a chance to see. And I think that's good that they do taxi so they can fit, because there's a difference in the pressure when that plane starts speeding down the runway like that.
Right. Yep.
It would be nice if they could really go up in the
Like,
air for a while, but
yeah, and then like, yeah, come
I
back
know
down.
that costs money because
I know.
yeah, because those two things can be major make or break issues. They can get through all of that, but that pressure that they feel of going up
Yeah.
and those ears pop
Mhm.
or the coming down and that boom that hits the
Oh, yeah,
ground?
from the runway. Yep. The tire
Yes,
ground. Yeah.
yes. Or even feeling the turbulence in the air. So those are the
Yeah.
things that the practice doesn't go through. But you can practice those things at home. Let them
Mhm.
kind of feel it,
Yep.
kind of like, or even if there's some aviation museums have those simulation
Oh, right.
airplanes.
Yeah. That's a really good idea.
Let them go in there and
Yeah.
feel what it's like to go through turbulence and
Right.
what it feels like to take off and let them feel that. That's what it is. Their systems need to feel it. Seeing it and hearing it, yes, play a big part, but feeling the sensation, how what their bodies go through, that's the most important key.
I think that was all my questions that I had for you, though. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was all the questions. So, we can go into again what your services are, where my services are, where we can find each other to let everybody know, like your website, your YouTube, your book.
All the
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
tell them about all of that, all those good resources that they can get.
Okay. So yeah, it's been really great talking to you. I know we're gonna have something special to announce after this little bit, but you can find me at my website. Everything is literally labeled Spectrum Getaways. Put it very much on the nose just so you don't get confused about what kind of travel agency I am. But you can find me at www.spectrumgetaways.com, and I'm sure it'll be down below. I live on Instagram because I am a millennial. So Instagram.com/Spectrum Getaways. I am on Facebook. I'm just not very active on Facebook as I am on Instagram. I do have a YouTube, but again, I'm very much a millennial. So if you want to get a hold of me, find me on Instagram.
Okay.
And I do have a course out that if you are not ready to come to me, but you're maybe in an in-between step between me and LaShawn, it helps you to like DIY your own trip with your child. So it's basically how to travel with your autistic child. So if you decide that you don't need the services, my services, or you just want to do something on your own, I do have a course that can help you get started planning your own trip with your autistic child. And I do have a couple of itineraries out. So if you're interested in traveling to Dubai, Paris, Tokyo, and I know there's one more city. I just forgot what it was off the top of my head. I have pre-made itineraries for you, as well as my book that's actually about my two little boys and traveling for the very first time. So that's on Amazon. I'll leave a link for that as well. But my services, so I help families by again traveling the world. My biggest selling destination is Japan because I have found, obviously, I'm an anime fan myself. So a lot of families that have autistic children love anime. So you're in really good hands because I totally speak your language, like as far as that goes. But I sell a lot of trips to Japan because I noticed that anime and autism go hand in hand, and I'm sure it's a beautiful thing that talks about or focuses on how autistic people can really understand characters in anime because of the facial expressions that are so large, or just because it's animation in general. So if you are considering planning a trip to Japan, I'm your girl for sure. But generally speaking, if you need help planning, I'm available, and I try to be available to you for the duration of your trip when you're hiring me as your travel advisor. Of course, I'm a one-woman show, so I can't be available 24/7, but I do have partnerships that are on the ground in most locations, especially Japan, so that if you needed help and you happen to I'm asleep, you would have somebody in Japan that is able to help you, at least the phone number. They might not be in the same city as you, but you could contact them in lieu of me so that you have help on the ground. So yeah, but I take all the stress away from the planning and booking process for sure, so that all you have to do is just pack your bags and get on your way. And I'm there for questions and stuff like that. So I'll take it over to you, LaShawn.
Okay, and we will definitely put all of your links down in the description box so everybody can know where to find you, whether it's social media, your website, YouTube, what have you. They will have access to all of your contact information, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, now for my services complement Dina, which is why we are collaborating.
Yay!
Yes, we are partnering up.
Yes,
I keep hearing about collaborate, and I was like, I don't know anybody to
right,
collaborate
right.
and does what I do, and so I did try to collaborate with Autism on the Seas, but they were like, we don't have the staff capacity for what you need because what my services are is that I have these e-courses and practice sessions on one-on-one or in groups, but at the end of the session, your graduation is going to be to actually go on a senior class cruise with other neurodivergent students. And if you're in the groups, you already know these people, so you're not traveling with strangers.
Right.
Yes, so I thought Autism on the Seas could really help me with that, but since we're talking about a whole class of people from different schools, they're like, yeah, that we can't handle that. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so who am I going to collaborate with if they can't help me? And I just started looking for certified autistic travel specialists or agents or experts, what have you. And Dina showed up. Spectrum Getaways. I was like, that's the perfect. There's no confusion in that. You know exactly what she does. So that is how we came to meet each other. And so I am also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. My main platform is YouTube, and like Dina said, hers is on Instagram. So we will be sharing each other's information on our platforms because we serve different audiences. So that'll bring her people over to YouTube, but it'll bring my people over to Instagram, and they can see how we work together. Together.
Yes.
Amazon, yeah, I do have some books on Amazon. I'm going to put some more on there that are specific to sensory friendly travel. Um, my main website is my school, SKOOL, and the school is called the Practice Room. Again, I will put the link down in the description box. And the Practice Room, again, is for practicing to prevent these issues that you may have. Practicing going to the grocery store, to the movies, to the restaurants, to the airport, to the cruise port, to prevent the meltdowns and the anxiety and the screaming and the what have you.
All the stuff.
Practice to prevent.
Right.
It's called the practice room. Again, there's free resources in there. I'm going to keep putting more resources in there. It's free to join the school. I'm going to keep it free for now. As we start really getting up in the numbers, then I may charge a minimal fee, but right now it's free. So you have free access to everything and anything I do. If I do a webinar or something like that, people in the school will have free access to that. Now the course is going to have a little minimal fee, but it's not going to be what the general public will pay. You will get a discount for being in the school. You have first access to any specials that I have going on, like my book that I have. It's an ebook, and it is a personalized Christmas book. It's based on the Polar Express. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Yes, I
The
do.
children remember that. It is based on that book, but your child is the star of the book. Their name is all through the book. They can have their dad as the conductor's name. They can have their mom as the travel companion. They have their favorite colors in there, their favorite sensory item or toy. They're going to have their weighted blankets or vest or what have you. They're going to have that favorite toy that they like to travel with. There will be sensory cars on this train that has special spaces where they can go if it gets to be too much. But the train ride itself is sensory friendly. There's not this loud whistle and all the loudness. They keep it calm, moderate level. Any child can travel on this train, but it is specifically set up for the sensory sensitive children. They have earmuffs that they give out. They have weighted blankets if the child needs that. This train is specifically set up for them so they can enjoy the experience just like every other child. I truly believe in that, which is why I set up the senior class trip at the end of my courses because I really believe that every child should experience that. That is like that's a transformational step into adulthood when you graduate high school and go to college or into the workforce or to the military. Our children may be special needs and they may need extra, but they still should be able to enjoy those lifetime transformational periods. They
I
should.
totally agree. I completely agree. Yeah.
Absolutely should. They can't do prom and all that stuff. They miss out on all that. Well, they're not missing out on the senior class trip. They're not. We will be doing that. So, and again, the parents are encouraged to be a part of that group because I'm going to need your input. I'm going to need your help putting this trip cruise together because I need to know what your child likes, what they don't like, what activities they may want to do, and what they don't want to do. That's going to determine the ship that we go on. More than likely, it will be a Royal Caribbean ship because I do want to somewhere partner with Autism on the Seas. And if you book your trip through Dina and choose a Royal Caribbean cruise, I can go to the uh, Autism on the Sea site or Dina, and we can choose a Royal Caribbean cruise that has partnered with Autism on the Seas for a specific date, specific itinerary, whatever it is that you specifically want, and have the Autism on the staff there. And the way that works is you book through Dina first. Dina gets the credit. And then if you decide to pay the extra to go with Autism on the Seas, then she hands them over to you. But she gets the initial credit for booking you. When we do the groups, it's going to be the same way. The group, well, I have to double check that, but I think we
Yeah.
can book the whole group through Gina so she can get all the credit for everybody. And then we hand the group over to Autism on the Seas. So if you have any questions, concerns, or whatever, you will go to Autism on the Seas. But we'll get into that once you
Well,
actually
yeah.
sign up for the course.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Yeah. It's
but
all coming.
it's all coming. Yep, it's like right there,
Yeah.
right there. So and then I'm on Facebook, like I said, Instagram, some. I'm getting into Pinterest.
You can do it. You
For
can do
me,
it.
Pinterest seems like it's just so much, but
I know. I know.
they keep saying, "Mom, that's where moms go. It's a search engine just like YouTube,
It
and that's where
is.
moms go to look for specific stuff." I'm like, okay, fine. So,
I live there
Pinterest
too
is
on
definitely
Pinterest, so
okay. See, so I
yeah.
will definitely put that Christmas book on Pinterest. It'll be on.
Yeah.
I'll be pushing it through my YouTube channel. That's where I'll be marketing it the most on YouTube, and then I can put some images on Instagram, Pinterest. Oh, and my Etsy shop. I have an Etsy shop.
Yes, she
So
does.
that book, and several other sensory-friendly products will be in my Etsy shop. All the free stuff, resources, and whatnot will be in the school. And I think that covers everything.
I think
Yep,
so too.
that covers everything.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's been so much fun talking to you. I'm so excited about all the things. Like, of course, we'll be announcing more things as they unfold and like, as we build things, it'll be amazing. But I can't wait to share all the things that we have in the future. And this is going to be an amazing partnership. So I thank everybody for taking the time to listen to us today. And I'm sure if you have any comments or anything, you can feel free to leave a message to me on Instagram or send me an email or same thing likewise. Um, yeah, I'm really excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah, or you can also leave comments down in the description, I mean, down in the comment section below of this video, and we will get back to you, even if they're specifically for Dina. I can pass them along to Dina, make sure she gets them. But yes, definitely engage, like the video, subscribe to the channel, go over to Dina's YouTube channel, Spectrum Getaways. Be sure to subscribe there also and follow her channel as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is part two. Be sure to check out part one. I'll put the link for that video also in the description box here for this one, and vice versa. So, two parts. Make sure you check out both parts, chalked with very, very helpful information and resources. Again, like we talked about, Autism on the Seas, Autism Double Checked. Autism on the Seas, of course, is for cruises. Autism Double Checked is for both airlines, and for hotel stays. They call them
Autism stays.
autism flights and autism nights. Yeah,
Yeah.
autism flights and autism nights, something like that. But all that is on Autism Double Checked, or you can even go to the ARC. A lot of people are familiar with the ARC,
Yep.
ARC. Wings for Autism or Wings for All is their program, but it still goes through Autism Double Check. Okay, and so again, you all check out Dina's website, Spectrum Getaways, if you're ready or think that you're ready to travel, whatever method that may be. Sign up with Dina. Let her take you by the hand and take you through your travel experience. If you're not quite ready yet, then you would come to me, go through my school, SKOOL, and it's called the practice room. And we will take you through the different resources and practice scenarios. You need more hand holding, then you'll sign up for the course and some other things, okay? But between the two of us, we will get you ready.
Yes.
We will get you ready with as minimal meltdowns and chaos and anxiety as possible. That's really what we want to do to get people to be more understanding of what autism look like with these families, with these children. So it'll hopefully cut out all the little comments and the nasty looks and whatnot, because they'll be able to understand more if they're really watching our channels, both of us. And between my practice sessions, it'll help to minimize those behaviors so they won't be happening. Nowhere near as much. Nowhere near as much. Guarantee you. Now that I can guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dina, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I think that's everything today.
Okay. All right, so we look forward to seeing you all either on my channel or on Dina's. If you want to practice first and go through scenarios at the grocery store, theater, travel, what have you, you'll sign up with me for my school and my courses. If you're ready and don't need that much hand holding, then you go ahead and book your travel plans with Miss Dina. Okay, and so just stay with the both of us. Sign up for all of our social medias. Stay tuned. Be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe to both of our channels and hit the notification bell on both of our channels so you know when we have different videos coming out. A lot of Dina's videos might be my videos, what Dina posts. Okay. Dina's a little busy. See, Dina
Yeah.
still has young kids, I know. So, also last note to let you all know, there are travel practice sessions that I can attend with you. If you want to go to LAX as a travel pet sitter, I do a lot of traveling. I can meet you at some of these practice travel events if you need some support. I can be there with you, or I can do it virtually. We can talk just like this. You can take me actually with you, and I can support you that way. I even plan to do some physical trips to go with some parents who need that extra help, especially those single moms who are
Yeah.
trying to juggle the children and the luggage and the snacks and the sensory items. I can physically go with you. I have the time to do that in between pet sits. So reach out to me if you need help with that. And again, we'll put our contact information down in the description box. And that is it. That's it for real.
I think that was all my questions that I had for you, though. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I think that was all the questions. So we can go into again what your services are, where my services are, where we can find each other to let everybody know, like your website, your YouTube, your book.
All the
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
tell them about all of that, all those good resources that they can get.
Okay. So yeah, it's been really great talking to you. I know we're gonna have something special to announce after this little bit, but you can find me at my